It feels like we can never get away from the Marvel property these days. We spent over 10 years watching these characters mostly evolve and culminate in the snap. With almost a full year into this game, how is it now, after all the issues that plagued this game at its launch? My name is Awifia, and I've been an MMO player for over 20 years. I've played games like EverQuest Online Adventures on the PS2, EverQuest on PC, Star Wars Galaxies, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, and countless other games. What many don't know is that I also love a looter game, stretching all the way back from my time playing Diablo 1 and 2, back when I was, well, too young to be playing M-rated games, to be honest with you. So how does Marvel's Avengers stack up after its rocky start, I guess is the best way you could put it? If you like this video and want to see more of what I'm going to be releasing here, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that little thumbs up button for me. Helps the algorithm out and helps other people find me just like yourself, as well as notifies you the next time I release a brand new video. The game starts out with a nice tutorial that allows you to play through each of the core Avengers: Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Black Widow, before moving over to your main protagonist, Kamala Khan. It gives you a nice few levels going through, teaching you how to sneak around, which you'll never actually use again, by the way. Use your abilities for this character, and of course, start the story and really get the ball rolling on how this story is supposed to go. Not long into the game, you move to finding the carrier that, blew up at the start. I don't understand how they got it from San Francisco Bay to the Badlands of, I believe, Utah. But, it is a superhero game, it is fantasy, let's just let that one go, right? You then run into the Hulk, who's apparently guarding the place, and you get a nice little platforming run experience where you have to get away and make sure he doesn't stop you. It's like impossible to not do it, though. Eventually, you get to move on and find help, and that's where the tutorial smoothly ends, I guess you can say. Plus, the tutorial teaches you how to use your characters, and then pick one in the mission map. There's a mission map. This game went from linear to a mission map, which I don't know. I don't know. That's an odd changeover to me, but with the amount of different studios that were involved in this game, that's not shocking. Avengers goes from a seemingly linear game to a choose your own destiny style game, where you can now move from a smooth story to picking where to go next. This is the bulk of the rest of the game. This is where you really see the hand of the 5 different studios being involved in this game's development. This is where you really start letting yourself assume sections of the story. Some of it does not explain itself, like, the carrier, which is fine sometimes, but it's like this more often than not. You eventually get a mission where you need to collect a bunch of items, but one you have a low chance of getting unless you go off and do a Captain America specific mission, which I guess is fine. It just isn't a good way of telling which of the 20 missions at the time give you a chance to even get the item dropped. I don't care which ones drop it. I want to know which ones give me a chance at it. I don't want to be shown which mission to absolutely do. I just want to be shown which missions give me the ability to receive this quest item for the main story quest. All right, this one now, gameplay, huh? This is a mixed bag. This really depends on who you play, really. When I play Cap, I feel pretty good, especially when I somehow manage to use an ability to toss my shield off people. And, to this day, I have no idea how I do that in melee range. Then you go to someone like the Hulk. And personally, the Hulk didn't resonate with me too well. I really just did not feel like the Hulk. I feel like just another hero who has strong attacks. The Hulk is real powerful. He's got great defenses. He can really, hit. And I don't feel like I'm playing this mutated person with 2 personas of the Hulk that's damn near indestructible, who can survive a nuclear winter, for Christ's sake. But I'm getting taken down by a bunch of average Joes with Stark weapons. Move on to Iron Man. And I guess he's pretty good. He got some of his iconic moves that you can clearly tell they're taken from the movies directly. He's fine for the most part, I guess. He's not terrible. His flight feels good. His range attack feels good. His melee attacks are a little lacking. I feel like his range attack should be his default, but what can you do with how the game's structured? I guess Thor feels okay. His big moves, the use of Bifrost, which just really didn't feel good to me. There's, boss fight mechanics around it that force you to use it, and I guess they make sense, but to use the Bifrost as an attack just does not feel very Thor-like to me. I feel like I should be doing something like Infinity War, where I'm calling down massive strikes of lightning, but instead I'm using the Bifrost to beam into a boss and hurt him more. I guess it's weird. Finally, you get Black Widow, who literally just feels out of place in this game. I feel like they put her in just because she was in the movies. There's no point for her until one specific spot in the story where she's required. That's it. There's no other need to be with her. There's no other need to use her. Just that one spot. She just doesn't fit the game. Her movie character, played by Scarlett Johansson, was phenomenal. She felt like she was integral to every part of the movies, especially the first Avengers movie. You know, she felt good, but here it's just like she was in the game just because she was a part in the movies. And that's it. And then you move on to Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. She faints a lot. I don't like her. She's annoying at best. She feels out of place and forced in. I understand that she's supposed to be kind of where the story perspective is told from, but it doesn't feel good for me. She doesn't feel like a good character. Overall, the gameplay, when depending on who you play, I guess, is okay. It's good. I eventually found a team after like 10 minutes though on prime time on Xbox on a weekend, and mostly everyone played Iron Man, and I can't believe that. You know, gameplay wise, I should be able to get a team in no time at all. And for an online game, this should be, you know, multiplayer cross-platform, but apparently it's not. So it took me 10 minutes to get a team where I felt like an Iron Man clone instead of, you know, crossing out to PC, Stadia, PS4, and wherever else this game's at. That was a big disappointment for me, and that definitely shows the stage of this game, the state of this game, and where it's going currently. From the get-go, you can play other characters if you pick up their stories. The first is, you know, Kate Bishop, the protege of Hawkeye, I think. She continues a story of taking down AIM by using a bow and arrow mostly, and her ingenuity to do it, I guess. I wouldn't pick her. For the first new character, though, I would have used Hawkeye instead, rounded the Avengers from the movies. It's a little bit better of a way to handle them, but I kind of understand what they were going for. The second episode, you get Hawkeye, so that's great. I mean, back-to-back bow, right? That's awesome. At least Hawkeye takes place in an alternate timeline, though, where AIM won. The Avengers did lose, AIM won. Cool concept, but you never go with virtually the same character back to back. That just isn't fun for anyone. I feel like I'm just playing Kate Bishop as a guy in the future. The story's not bad from what I hear. And not long before recording this video, they had released the Wakanda section of the game, where you get to play as Black Panther. I'm not going to really comment on this too much. I haven't had a chance to play it, but it's another powerless character. And I feel like we need to start adding some characters with powers to this game in order to really start making it stand out a little bit. Maybe some of the Fantastic Four, something like that. But overall, it's going in a good direction. They keep putting expansions out, a lot of free expansions, a lot of free DLC. You really just pay for skins, but if you have a consistently dropping player base, you're not really going to get those profits back like you would want to. So some needed changes. You know, it goes without saying, crossplay. Why don't you make this priority? I have no idea. This game already has a low population on PC. I'm assuming it has the same population across the board, especially on Stadia, where not a whole lot of people are going to be. This is just fragmenting the player base, making it more frustrating to groups for people who just started trying the game like me, who want to group up with other people, but I can never find one in prime time, as I said earlier. Release new characters and fix the deal with Sony so we can get Spider-Man. If you want to save this game off like immediately, put in Peter or Miles. You'll have a huge boost in your monthly active users. In no time at all will Spider-Man bring in additional people, especially if you can play them on all platforms. But do so only after crossplay is added to the game. So this game is much less of a buggy mess than when it started, from what I understand, but I still don't feel heroic when I play it. Characters feel copy and paste with a little differences between them. Going the route of the same team from the movies is fine, I guess, but you have to at least look at paying the actors to bring them in, do voiceover and likenesses. The current actors don't feel like they round out the characters too much. Nolan North plays Tony Stark, who I didn't like initially, but he kind of grew on me. But aside from him, I didn't like any of the other voice actors. I thought that they didn't fit the roles at all. They didn't feel like they really understood the character or anything about them. No, except for Bruce. Bruce Banner was fine. Oddly enough, I hated playing the Hulk, but I loved Bruce Banner's voice actor. Really good. This game, it doesn't know what it's supposed to be or what it wants to be, but it can be fun. Crystal Dynamics has the potential to have a hit on their hands if they can pull a No Man's Sky and fix the mess they made. I'm not sure how long this game will continue. Hopefully they patch it, maybe to be offline only. Then you just don't have to worry about being in a live service failure game like Anthem. Overall, if you get a chance to play this game for free, I'd give it a try, but I wouldn't waste any money on it, and I certainly wouldn't invest a whole lot of time. You might get 10 hours in the main story before you're done. That's what I did without even a double XP boost weekend. I don't even think I hit max level. If you have a chance to try this game, I wish you the best. I will be playing the other episodes eventually and just getting caught up with the rest of the story of the game, but I'm not going to go ahead and invest too much time in it. If a better game comes out, I'm going to install that on my Xbox ahead of this game, just because there's no point to waste 125 gigabytes on my system when I can play other games that are way more enjoyable than this. With that being said, this is a whiffy up from Blue Unicorn Gaming. I hope you like this take on Marvel's Avengers and give it a try sometime. Maybe you might like it, but don't pay full price for it. It is not worth that in my opinion. And as always though, stay safe, have fun, and keep on gaming.